Welcome to my channel. Make sure you subscribe, like and comment.
Hello guys, welcome once again to our channel. So today we're going to be talking about the episode 12 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So before we go ahead and talk about it, like we always do when we start up the show, um, how would you rate this episode?
Um, Thinking back on all the events that happened, uh, I would have to give it maybe a 4.7. The reason why I'm not going 4.5 is because, I learned a little bit more about this
Mm,
cast. Just watching, listening, and just checking out, um, body language.
mm.
So, what do you rate it as?
For me, I would rate it let's say a 3/10. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And,
I,
and
I
why?
for me, this season isn't doing it for me. The
Okay.
way maybe because I put too much expectations before the show aired, right?
Hmm.
I had so much expectations before the show aired. So the thing is now like problematic for me because okay, you had this so much high expectation, then coming on to the show, you're like, what am I watching?
Hmm.
Right?
Right.
It isn't giving. Thank God for the new view, and how would I put it, the new cast members, because some of these old cast members be like, what the heck is going on?
Hmm.
But anyways, let's go ahead. So we will not bore you with just talking. This episode started off with Shemea's having a chat with Cynthia, and they were talking about the Porsha stuff, right?
Right.
And the friendship. What did you feel about her having that chat with Cynthia? Especially when now, the one thing I wanted us to talk mostly about was the fact that she mentioned the relationship was kind of friction because of their mothers. Their mothers had issues as they were also friends, but they later had issues. Now the
Hmm.
children being friends and the same thing kind of happening. And it looks like the mothers already have this destroy and distrust because of, that kind of thing, like, oh, your mom did something to me that was painful. Of course, you might do the same thing to my own daughter. That thing is already in the air there. And do you think that the moms having their own beef is also a contribution to why Porsha and Shemea's friendship is not really that much of a friendship?
Yeah, I do. You know, it it's easy to say, hey, let your kid develop their own friendship, even amongst your enemies, most trusted relatives. That's easy to say, but as a mom myself, yeah, I would tell my daughter, like, look, her mom's ain't cool. I don't, I don't like kick it with her. I don't deal with her like that, you know. So if you're going to be, around, their her offspring, then just like kind of watch it back. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that that person would actually do something, but just, you know, just Be on guard. Now, me as a mother, I would say that because I have. I mean, not that me and one of my kids' uh, parents were friends or anything, because no, we were like, associates. Hey, how you doing? That type of thing. I never was the type of parent that would let my kids go spend a night at somebody else's house. No, they could spend the night over here because I don't know what's at their house. I don't know how they run their house, you know. So, I mean, I can understand that getting in the way of Portia and Shamea having like a tight bond, you know. So I can understand that, if that was your question. I know I probably took it somewhere else, but that was your
Oh,
question, right?
yeah, that was my question. And I also
Okay.
wanted to add something. I know I posted on my Facebook during the week. I think it was on a Friday. No, on a Saturday. The episode airs on Sunday, right? On a Saturday, Porsha posted on her Instagram, literally blasting Shamia,
Oh, wow.
talk, talking about the fact that Shamia shouldn't bring up her mom's name, shouldn't talk about her mom. I did think I posted it on my Facebook, and I think I talked about it on my Facebook.
Hmm.
But now I thought that I thought Shamia said something bad about Portia's mom. But when I watched the episode, I kept on asking myself, what the heck made Portia bring or post that stuff on Instagram? The way she posted that stuff on Instagram, it made it look as if there was something so heavy that Shamia said about Portia's mom that warranted her that response. But watching the episode, except because I know sometimes these producers be shady. They give the sometimes the cast members will watch another clips of the episode, and we will get to watch another part. Yeah,
Right.
except if that is the case. Because me watching that episode, I didn't see Shamia say something that bad about Portia's mom. She only hinted on the fact that her mom and Portia's mom had issues or have issues. They were friends before and no longer friends. That's the only thing she did say. So for Portia to come out and literally say what she said, for me, I am disappointed. And I'm not gonna lie, since the beginning of this season, I have been unendingly disappointed with Portia. My disappointment in Portia has grown so far because Portia went from when I heard that Portia was coming back on the Real Housewives, I was applauding, I was happy, I was like, man, yeah, we're back. This season was gonna be banger. To me, watching her on this season and being like, I felt like she shouldn't have come back.
Mm.
I ain't gonna lie. That's how I feel. I feel like Portia should not have come back for this season because instead of giving the energy of main cast member, she's giving friend of a friend. Yeah, she's giving friend of a friend, not main cast member, and that is disappointing. And the part that Portia was talking with Angela and Cynthia, and also Cynthia, I don't understand. Is that her main role on the show to just be hopping up on discussion, being friends, and being like a? I don't understand. What is Cynthia's role on the show?
Yeah.
Does she
Well,
have a pitch? No, I want to. I don't know. I've forgotten. Did she have a pitch?
no, she didn't.
Okay, she
I don't.
doesn't. Okay,
No, no, she
okay.
didn't
So
have
she's a
one.
she's a friend of a cast.
Right. Right.
Okay,
So,
all right.
so,
I,
about the thing that Portia posted about Shamia, as you
yeah,
said, in the episode, we only seen what we heard
yeah,
Portia say, about well, actually, we seen the episode of Portia's mom saying those things.
Yeah.
Then we seen Shamea saying that, hey, yeah, they were friends, they don't kick it no more, and I guess that was the producer said, well, what happened? And she was like, like, I'm not gonna get into it. You know what I'm saying? Which I thought
Mm.
was respectful, because that's not her business to be repeating. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's between those two
Exactly. Yeah.
people.
Sure. I didn't even want to know because they are not their moms. Let the moms tell their
Exactly.
own story themselves.
Exactly. You know. So for Portia to put that on social media, that's kind of like a low blow, especially if that's all we got to see. If there was more, then I'll retract that. you know. But other than that, yeah, that was kind of low. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And when she was having the chat, when Portia was having the chat with Cynthia and Angela, and they started talking about the Shemia stuff again, and she was
Mhm.
like, I'm going through a divorce. I can't be divorcing my friend. And I'm like, see, I don't know how these ladies, I said it that these ladies, they have a problem on friendship. Most on these reality TV stars, they have a problem with friendship. They have a problem with how they view friendship. They have a problem with the definition of friendship. Because,
Well,
yes, I do understand that Portia is going through a divorce and nobody can be in her shoes. I will not say I can understand what she's really going through because I'm not in her shoes. I don't know what she's going through in the divorce. I don't know how her ex-husband is treating her, what she has to go through. Yeah. But there's one thing I know is that at the end of the day, your friends are the people that got you. And except if Shemi, and I've seen Shamia on the show, off the show, support Portia even when Portia is wrong. When you're looking at
mhm.
Shamia and being like, yeah, Portia was wrong, but she's still supporting Portia. So I know that Shamia literally does love Portia as a friend,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
And I just feel like Portia ain't giving that same energy.
Well, I think Portia feels that. Excuse me. I think Portia feels that she's bigger than the relationship. You know.
In what way? Bigger in what way? I don't understand. Shamia is better than her financially and okay and
Well,
everywhere. I don't understand.
because she's been on the show for so long, she probably feels like, hey, this is
Oh,
my
that's what you
show.
mean.
I don't need you here trying to take the shine.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? And it kind of made me question, like, Portia's character a little bit, simply because when Shamia asked her, "Hey, I want the old Portia back," the one that's not in front of the cameras, because basically that's the real Portia. This Portia here is the actress. You know what I'm saying? And Portia kind of got
Mm.
upset, you know. So it just kind of just lets me know about her character. Like, is she acting on the Real Housewives? And then she's really, the Portia that we want to know, you know, only behind closed doors with Shamia when the cameras aren't rolling. Like, what's going on there?
Mm.
So that's why I say, you know, as far as Portia feeling like she's bigger than the relationship, hey, that's her show. She's been there, and here comes Shamia. Now she's on the show. Shamia, she it's like Shamia doing big things. You know what I'm saying? Every time you see her, she is dressed to the T. Her hair is whipped. Her makeup is on point.
Mm.
You know, she's beautiful. She's
Yeah,
gorgeous.
she is.
You know, and I love her haircut because it's so versatile. She could do so many different hairstyles with that short, sassy haircut. I love it. You know, but I think Portia might be a little bit jealous. I mean, look, we're looking at the Atlanta housewives. How many of them are actually housewives? Two,
Mm,
two,
yeah.
two. So really, what the hell are we watching? We just watching Atlanta. Ain't no housewives. We're just watching Atlanta. The people of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Not the people of Atlanta.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Um, yeah, but what you said is actually true. That for me, I've also felt that kind of way, but I do not want to judge in that certain way that maybe Portia is jealous of Shamia. But the only thing I can literally say, like I can categorically say, is that I feel like um the level of the percentage of their love in that relationship is not equal. There is, I feel like Shamia has more love for Portia than Portia does have for her. I don't think the friendship ever started on a, on a straight playing field. I feel like maybe Shamia came on to Porsche, and it has always been like that. Or Shamia has always been the one that liked Porsche and chased the friendship with her, and it has been like that. Because I have never seen their friendship give me the vibes of, oh, these two people as friends love themselves so badly. Like, if Portia commits a crime, Shemia will be there for her. If Shemia commits a crime, Portia will be there for her. I have never noticed that. It's giving me that if Portia commits a crime, Shemia will be there for her.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's the other way round, Portia would not be there for Shemia. We've seen it, like, not like that instance, but it kind of have played out in their friendship. And I also feel like Shemia is in her own way trying to like force the relationship to work.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain level you will get to a relationship where you look at it and you just be like, you know what, I think this has to end. Okay, even if it doesn't end, I think I need to put a boundary so as to give myself self-respect, so as my name will be attached to respect. And the way Portia spoke about Shemia and the thing she did on Instagram, I felt like Shemia said something bad. And I said, for somebody that just wished Shemia happy birthday, like about 2 days ago, 2 days before she posted that, like, Portia does not respect Shemia in any shape or form. Portia doesn't have any respect for her. And what made me know very well so much was when in that scene when they were at the restaurant, right? And
Mm-hmm.
she was kind of being like, I want you to treat me the way you treat me off camera. Did you notice that it sounded as if Shemia was begging?
Yeah.
I, it sounded as if she was literally begging her. And I was pissed off because I'm like, why are you begging? Why the heck are you begging? There is no need for you to beg. It was not worth it. And the way Portia literally disregarded her feelings and was like, are we good to go? Let's do a takeaway. I'm like, oh my God. I could feel like Shamia almost wanted to cry. I felt like Shamia almost wanted to cry. And that was unfair. I'm glad that she went on Andy's show recently and she was like, she's putting a pause on trying to work on the friendship and waiting for Portia. Because yes, that's what you need to do. Sometimes you need to take a pause. Let the other person do the work. And if the person doesn't do the work, let the friendship go.
Right.
I have always said it, and I'm gonna say it. Porsha and Candy has always talked about. Candy's always talking about how she's friends with Shamea and everything. I don't think. I feel like they treat Shamea as an underdog. I have never seen the loyalty and everything that Shamea gives to Candy and Porsha. I have not really seen them give it back.
Mm.
Yeah, I haven't really seen them give it back. So I think Shamea is someone that loves her friends like with everything. Maybe she
Right.
then does it too much and doesn't know when to give herself boundaries. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like at this stage, stay away from Portia. Don't beg for her friendship. You are rich. You married a fucking rich African man. What the heck are you deceiving yourself waiting for Portia's friendship?
You
You
know,
know, yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say sometimes, you you're around people who, when it's your turn to be happy and it's your turn to get all your blessings, they hate to see you with a slice of bread when they have the whole loaf. You know what I'm saying? Because you're getting a slice of bread. They got the whole loaf of bread, but they hate to see you with the slice, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I do.
And it's so sad that, we all go through our seasons. Sometimes we're happy, sometimes we're sad. Sometimes, we're just kind of in between. We're feeling our way through every day. I mean, we all go through that, but genuinely, if you're a good friend, you're going to be happy when your friend is happy,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you're going to be sad when they're sad, not the opposite. I mean, if it's going to be the opposite, then hell, you know, I figure I got a hater, you know what I'm saying? A hater who's trying to be on my team. That's not going to work. Somebody has to go.
Mm,
So I,
exactly.
I think Portia is jealous because Shamia is has a tight grasp and a beautiful grasp on her marriage and her future with her husband and her kids. Where Portia chased after somebody else's dream, got a
Mm,
little piece of, you know, got a piece of the bread, you know,
yeah.
and now she's being left with crumbs.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
So all that effort she could have put into a real good man instead of chasing somebody else's man. I mean, how you get them is how you lose them.
Exactly. Well, what you said is right. Like at the end of the day, at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
she, I like she said when she was on Andy's show that she's kind of taking a pause. I'm happy for her because she needed to. She needed to. Um, I hope they probably get back to where they were.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they get back there. But at the end of the day, my advice is if they don't get back there, all well and good. All well and good. Don't force it. Don't force it. Don't force it. But a lot of people were saying that Angela and Kelly were the one that kind of spoiled um the friendship. But I'm arguing. that it's not possible. If there was not cracks in a relationship, there will not be a way for somebody to use that crack to cause a very big, issue. It's only if there was cracks in that relationship that was able to give the opportunity for Kelly and Angela to say and do what they say. Do you really think that Kelly and Angela were the cause for this breaking in their relationship?
Just as I was starting to give Angela a little props, right now she seems to be the bone carrier. Like, what are you doing? Like, aren't you a little bit too old for that shit? You know, Yeah, when I seen her, oh, well, how do you feel? Like she's giving an interview or she's writing a book. She's getting her notes together. Well, how do you feel about when that happened? When Shamea said this or Portia did that, or and I'm just looking at her like, wow, damn, no storyline. You know what I'm saying? Why you in they shit? You know what I'm saying? And
Well,
it
at the
has
end
some.
of the day, it will be the storyline. She's the main cast for the show. I'm not gonna lie. Angela is the main cast for this season. Every other person is just, you know,
Well, maybe she did have nothing this week to talk about. You know,
probably.
I mean, because I don't understand why it was on her heavy on her heart. Let's put it that way, for her to go to both of these women and ask questions and then carry information back and forth. What she said, this is how she feels, and she feels like you're not, putting enough emphasis on the friendship. I just want to make sure that you know your thoughtfulness is being reciprocated back and forth. And like, what, who are
But
you,
at
the
the
friendship police? It just kind of irritated me a little bit
but I don't
because,
think she's to blame because what at the first my first question would be
well, no,
how much
I didn't say she was to blame. I'm just saying she's a shit starter.
because that's what she's supposed to do. That's what the show is all about. At the
Well,
end of the day, that's what the show is all about.
I guess, but as I said before, we were supposed to be watching Atlanta of Housewives, the Housewives of Atlanta. Hell, there's only two there.
Angela is one of them.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And as far as who was it, Kelly? Kelly goes. Kelly ain't really got a whole lot to talk about no more now since her stuff has died down with Kenya. She can't use that anymore, and the other little things she was going through with her mom selling the house, and like, what else is there for her? We don't get to see her like at her job and what she does, and how
Kelly,
she interacts with her clients.
are you talking about Kelly?
Yes, I'm saying Kelly has, what's her storyline now?
I don't even know. But she's a shit starter. So maybe that's the role they gave her.
Yep, quite possibly. Quite possibly. She has that mouth. It's like she doesn't know when to insert her mouth. She inserts it sometimes in the wrong spots.
Hmm. Yeah, let's move forward from Porsha and Shamea. Let's talk about Drew and Ralph. This episode, we saw Drew calling her mom and complain about Ralph. Is there any episode that Drew doesn't complain about Ralph?
Nah.
Now, I think when they call Drew a liar, yeah, she's a liar
Okay.
because before she said he doesn't do anything, he's trying to steal my money, he's trying to do whatever, whatever, you know. But now, in this episode, she was like, he has money, he does things. I'm like, okay, which one should we believe? He's broke, he doesn't have money, he's trying to steal your money, he's trying to steal your business. And this episode, it was like, you were like, he has money, he takes care of it, he takes care of things. Like Drew. You know, one night about some lie, there are some liars when they lie so good. But Drew's lying is she lies 1 minute, she forgets the lie that she told a minute ago and say another lie. And just like, but you said this thing. I don't know between her and Phaedra who lies the most. But I think she lies than Phaedra. Yeah.
What I tripped off of was Drew. I mean, not only the things that you said, that Drew said, which I heard too, but um Drew's mom said something about, he doesn't even give you child support, and you know, we're helping you support the kids. Well, I thought Drew had two businesses. So what, her businesses aren't doing good enough where she accepts money from her mom? You know what I'm saying? Is her
Mm,
lifestyle that expensive that she can't afford it? And if he's there paying all the bills, because he already said that he pays all the bills, right?
yeah.
So, like, what's going on if she has two businesses? And she's getting paid from the show that she got to accept money from her mom, and her family. Did you? I don't know if you caught that.
I did. I was even trying. I was. That's why I say she lies.
Mm,
She lies a lot because you claim that you have this because she every time she talks, she always makes it look as if she has though her financial life is that perfect. Um, everything is great. Like it's just Ralph that doesn't have his life together. You know, she always
mm,
makes it look as if Ralph is the one that doesn't have his life together. Now you're like he takes care of himself, he's this, he's good, he's that. And your mom now on the same phone call is saying that he doesn't give you child support. I'm like, but he pays for everything in the house. He pays for the children's. So what other child support do you want?
exactly. I mean, if he's putting a roof over their heads and all the utilities are paid, and they get to go to their sports. I'd seen that the son was in football when they showed his room. I seen his football gear sitting like on a nightstand or something. But what I wanted to know was, girl, you don't know if something is going up with your kids. It is, when they showed her son's room, it said 12:09. And I know that's not PM. I mean AM. It had to be in PM. Why is he in the bed? The room is junky. The bed ain't made. He's on his phone, flipping through his phone, and he's in pajamas. And then they show the daughter, and then I'm looking at a broken dresser. Where's the top of the dresser? Like, Drew, quit buying clothes or whatever the hell you doing, all them wigs or whatever you doing, and get some furniture up in there. Get your kids up. Get them outside. Activities. 12 noon. Hell, don't nobody need to be sitting in their pajamas in their room on their phone, and you're a preteen. No. That she's, yeah. She needs to pay more attention to her household, to her children, you know? Because I
Mm.
that just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Like, okay, well, Ralph's in the basement, so he don't know what the hell's going on upstairs. But Drew, you see all this. I don't know if you caught that little bit, but I did. It's like, what is she doing? Why is he on his phone? Why isn't the room clean? You know, why is he in pajamas at 12 noon? You know, your daughter's hair ain't combed, dress all jacked up. Like what's going on? But then downstairs it's nice, but upstairs it's a fucking shambles. You know, I don't get it.
See, at the end of the day, I've learned something about Drew. She doesn't have her life put together, but
Mm,
she expects others to put their life together for her. And the way she has lied so much about this divorce with Ralph. And you know what pisses me off is that I know Ralph is not a good guy,
right.
but Drew makes him sometimes look like a saint. Yeah, because the lies, especially the finance lies, I'm like, I can't keep up. At the end of the day, which one is it? Is Ralph not taking care of the kids and the household things? Are you the one taking care of it? Which one is it? Because I've heard like so many versions of it. So which one?
Well, one thing we know is Ralph is definitely changing the key code to the door.
Yeah. That's why I say he's not a good guy. He's messy.
But my thing is, like, girl, why you coming in at 1 in the morning? Where you been? You know what I'm saying?
She's she's single, so she's ready to mingle.
Oh God, do that when you're really single. You know what I'm saying? 1 in the morning, ain't nothing open, is it? 1 in the morning, I am like in bed. I'm not trying to be outside. Now I'm outside when it's time to be outside. Yeah.
Oh my
At one
god.
in the morning, like, where are you coming from? A club, the studio, a restaurants are closed by then. I mean, that's not Vegas. You know what I'm saying? So, like, where are you? Where are you coming from? So, I don't know. If you're gonna stay out to one, you might as well just do what you did when you got locked out. Go get your hotel and come back in the daytime. I guess Ralph
Oh
said he
my
ain't
god.
having.
Ralph is so petty and
Yeah,
childish.
Ralph
I
said he
think
ain't
it's
having that shit.
hi. I feel like the both of them are just childish. And when you're dealing with two children,
Mm,
that's they don't know what to do. And imagine them acting that childish and they still have children like I feel bad for the children.
yeah,
Who who I feel bad for is the children.
right. I mean, I agree because children are smart. They notice a different dynamic in the house. They see the tension. They see that, hey, you guys aren't speaking, you guys aren't lovey-dovey, you're not asking each other questions. And if you are, it's a straight answer. you know
Uh,
Children are very observant of things like that, so therefore it makes them feel some kind of way inside, like, am I to blame? Am I not being good enough?
yeah,
Eh, you know it messes with kids. It really does.
it does. I know that it does because you know I went through that stuff, and sometimes the parents don't always put in the kids in the midst. I'm not saying stay in an unhappy marriage. I will never advocate for that, you know, but be considerate. Some of them, when they are going their separate ways, they don't be considerate to the kids on how they are feeling. You don't, they don't, I'm not even sure they even ask the kids how, what you're feeling about this. How are you feeling? You know,
Right.
yeah. Ralph and Drew, I think I am tired of them because this storyline has been going on for, this is the third season, right? This is their
Yeah,
divorce.
yeah.
And I'm wondering, when will they ever get this divorce?
I don't know. Like during my first divorce, look, I gave up the house, the boat, and the truck, and the car, bank account. You know, I gave it all up simply because I just wanted to be free. Like, hey, I just wanted my children, my last name back, and my peace of mind. Because all that's material things. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
reason I feel the reason why he accomplished so much during that first marriage with me is because I was the blessing in that relationship.
Oh,
I'm the one who had the ideas. I'm the one who said, "Hey, let's do A, B to get us to C." You know what I'm saying? He never had a plan, you know, but he wanted to hold tightly to everything. I didn't want child support. I didn't want alimony. I just wanted my last name back in my kids. Like, I'm ghost. You won't see me no more. Oh, I also wanted 100% custody of my children, which I got. You know, so all the material stuff. Look, I have doubled it, quadrupled it since then. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I'm not the type of person that holds on to material things. Yeah, I like to have them. I like nice things, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but I can walk away at any time, because I feel like wherever I go, I'm going to be blessed. God is going to bless me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to make sure I have a roof and food in my stomach and that I'm safe. That's all I want. You know what I'm saying? Everything else is just
Yeah.
extra, you know, that he allows me to have.
No.
So I don't understand women that sit there and fight for this and fight for that and shit. Nah. And believe me and my kids, we made it. It didn't take me to be with another husband to make it. No, I made it before then. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I made struggling look easy, you
No,
know?
at the end of the day, it's everybody with their own stuff and how they want to go with their life.
Right.
Um, I just hope that at the end of the day, it goes well for every one of them. Well,
Yeah.
anyways, I did not tell you earlier on before we go ahead and end the live. This is not about RHOA. This is about Lower Marriage Detroit. You know that they finished up the reunion, right?
No,
Did you watch it?
no, I
Oh, you
didn't. I
kidding?
think I watched the first two episodes and I was just like not interested.
um, they had finished the reunion, and guess what?
What?
Brandon and Christina are officially divorced.
What?
I am telling you.
I knew that wasn't gonna last. I just knew he thought he was just too pretty.
Oh my God. Immediately, the last episode was on Friday, right?
Mm,
On
okay.
Friday. Immediately the episode Ed finished the reunion, the last part of the reunion, Ed, she released a statement and was like, her and Brandon released a statement together, but it was on her Instagram. But
Mm,
she tagged him, showing that
wow.
they are officially divorced.
Oh wow. Okay.
I was
Mm,
like, yeah, that was necessary.
yeah. I mean,
I
he
I
just
I
didn't
really
seem like he
I,
was into the marriage, especially. I think I
yeah.
seen a commercial where they showed a partial episode where he said, "Well, I was ready to divorce the kids too." Like, what father says that?
I don't even think he was ready to be a parent.
You know what? Look, not unless you're sitting there and you're planning with your mate of, hey, we're gonna do this uh conception of pregnancy. We're gonna try and do it this year. Not unless you're planning everything out. Will you be ready? You know, hey, are you ready for any of God's miracles? No, you learn to adapt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When we make plans, God laughs. Oh, you plan on doing this today? Well, guess what? It's gonna rain. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well,
So,
anyway, I was happy that she has finally divorced the guy because that was necessary.
mhm.
That was really, really necessary. It was overly necessary. I wish them well. I wished them well in the video I did. I wish them well. I don't know whether the show is going to be coming back. At this point, we don't know anything about any of the lower marriages, so I just seeing how it's gonna change. Anyways, that
Maybe if Andy and Carlos got some actually married people on their show, you
but
know.
for lower married Huntsville, there is still Letitia married, Kimmy still married. So, but
The t-
they're not just interesting to watch. That's just the thing.
yeah, that's true.
They're not
Hey,
just interesting to watch. There is a show being interesting. There's somebody that makes people want to turn on the show to watch. That's just it. At the end of the day.
right.
Well, anyways, guys, thank you very much for joining from those on YouTube and those on Facebook. Thanks for joining us on today's recap and review of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. We'll catch you guys same time next week. Have a nice day, guys.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.